imagine. And the good people at Callaway Golf, and the good people at the PGA of America who made it happen. This is what we want to do for our veterans. Okay.
Hey, Bill,
Go ahead, Ed.
I'd like for you to tell, I want you to tell the story of him going back, real quick. I think it's very important for the American people in this room to hear what our service members do.
I told this story to Ed today, and I got further educated because, you know, my time in the service was served in a really difficult place. I was in Virginia Beach. And when we had to go out on the ship and we had to go on maneuvers and stuff, it was difficult again. It was St. Thomas. So my experience with the military is far away from these gentlemen's experience. So I'm going to tell you a story about Andrew. Andrew served 2 tours in Iraq. In both of those tours, he came on the wrong side of a roadside bomb. And he was injured at both of those times. Third time in serving in Afghanistan, he stepped on a landmine. The landmine blew him about 20 feet in the air. The shrapnel went flying sideways and injured the people around him. Came back, severe back injury, traumatic brain concussion, various other injuries. He goes to the local hospital there in the area where he was stationed. And the doctor looks at him and says, Andrew, this is your 3rd concussion. It's too dangerous for you to go back and do any more. You're going to go home. And you know, the effects of this concussion, Andrew, they may not kick in for a couple of days. So you might feel okay now, but you're not going to feel okay in a couple of days. So Andrew must have nodded. Doctor left. A couple hours went by. Andrew put on his gear, got out of the hospital, went back to his platoon. He ran into his commanding officer. Commanding officer said, what are you doing here? You're in the hospital. They said, I'm okay to come back with my platoon. These are fellows that he's trained, fellows that he's prepared to go out on patrol. And he wanted to be with them. That night went by. Andrew then wakes up early the next morning to get ready to go out with his platoon. They go out to the line of vehicles. He's got his 90-pound pack on his back. It's hot. And here comes the lieutenant running down the line of the vehicle, says, Andrew, come here. We called the hospital and we found out the real story about what the hospital told you had to do. Now, if you tell me, Andrew, that you won't be a burden to your platoon and you feel fine, I'll make believe I couldn't find you. But by that time, the effects of the concussion was sinking in. And the 90-pound pack felt like more like a 190-pound gear and pack. So he realized at that point that he wouldn't be a burden to his platoon. He wouldn't be an additional help. So he decided that he had to listen to what the doctor said. I thought that was such an unusual story. Because remember, where I came from, if they gave me a pass to come home, I was going home. And Andrew was going back into the combat. He was going back. I thought that it was unusual until I talked to Major Polito. That's more common than unusual with these people, these volunteers who are over there. They are truly a band of brothers. Okay, I'm going to conduct a little business now, Andrew. You can go down and sit down. Julia, thank you very much. I left all of the wrappings on your clubs. I couldn't hit this one very good, though.